How do I, 43F, politely turn down a kind young coworker, 22M? I'm recently divorced, a single mother and struggling a bit. I'm struggling both emotionally and financially. A coworker of mine who's really young has been so kind and supportive to me. It's embarrassing to admit, but my mom is a bit hard to complain to about this, and my ex-husband essentially took our friends in the divorce, so, for better or worse, this young kid has been my shoulder to cry on. One time I complained about having to avoid getting desserts and candies for my daughter, 5F, who has a huge sweet tooth, as I'm tight on cash and my ex-husband has been giving me difficulty in the money department. Lo and behold, as I was leaving that night, he gave me this huge goodie bag full of various candy I could give her. It may sound ridiculous, but it was honestly the sweetest gesture I've ever experienced in my life. We became friends and bonded about the difficulties of juggling work and college, raising a kid. Soon it wasn't uncommon for me to invite him over and he and my daughter would play, and they seriously got right along. He's even helped my daughter with some tough concepts at school, as he's way smarter than I am, and even my mom, who can be a bit difficult, has warmed up to him. One night after my mom had went back to her house and my daughter was asleep, we drank a little and got a little tipsy, and he was very definitely flirty. Nothing outright or like he was trying to come on to me, but he was very sappy and compliment why. Talking about how strong I was and how good of a mother I was, etc., and it eventually turned into a lot of compliments on my appearance, and truth be told, I really enjoyed it and I felt like I was a teen again. I haven't really heard stuff like that about my personality at all, and I really wanted to hear something like that. I needed reassurance that I was a good mom. As for the stuff about my looks, I honestly haven't heard anything like that since I was a young lady, lol. The next time I saw him, he apologized for overstepping boundaries. Point is, I got a suspicion he liked me then and there, but this was confirmed later after one of his college buddies met me and was teasing him like a middle schooler in front of his crush, which made him really defensive, again, like a middle schooler. I want to give him the right message and I don't want to lead him on. In hindsight, I guess I kinda have been without realizing. He's easily the nicest and most lovely guy I've met, and he'll definitely make someone happy, but it can't be a mother over twice his age. He's only had one girlfriend in high school and has only ever so much as kissed once. Not to be crass, but he needs to go sleep around and be wacky and experimental. Really, he needs to have his fun at this age, not settle down with an old lady who can't be adventurous. He's great with my daughter and he's great to me. If he was older, sure, he's totally my type, and even if it's wrong, the thought has crossed my mind. I know it's wrong and I probably shouldn't admit to it, but I do think I share his feelings, and I did feel a lot of ways that night when we were tipsy, and truth be told, I think of him often. I really can't start a relationship with him though. Age alone makes it immoral. Not to mention how much he'd miss out on dating me. He'd have to be in a serious relationship without even getting to enjoy non-serious ones, and when he'd be my age, I'd be basically dead. I don't know how to turn him down without becoming distant from him, as he hasn't made any moves yet, and I don't know how to handle his feelings properly. I'm not good at this stuff and I want to keep him in my life if possible, but it's just not correct to date him. Coworker plus massive age gap is a terrible idea. If things go bad, you are risking your source of income, your ability to support your daughter. You can simply tell him you appreciate his friendship, but you are fresh off your divorce and you aren't in a headspace to start a relationship. Then you go out and make more friends so you don't have all your emotional eggs in a 22-year-old basket. Find other single moms, reach out to old friends. Your ex couldn't have taken everyone in the divorce. Find a community that supports you that you can be engaged in. You say coworker, but given the age difference, do you have some kind of supervisory capacity over him? This has been the worst few days of my life. Hi there. I have never posted on here, so here goes. I'm a 29-year-old female who was living with my boyfriend of 31. We started dating 3 years ago and overall, things were good. He's a military combat veteran, so I knew going in things might be tough, but I had no idea. We both fell in love really fast, and after a year of dating we moved in together. Shortly after, he came home drunk one night screaming at me. He broke a chair, destroyed my yoga mat and kicked the shit out of a trash can. I was scared shitless and told him to leave, but he just sat in his car for an hour and came back in crying. And I, who still love him, forgave him. After this incident, I requested we go to therapy, which he refused. Anytime I tried to talk about what happened, he would say it wasn't him and he didn't remember most of it. He began getting annoyed when I expressed my concerns on it until I finally gave up. I talked to a therapist about it one time, and she put how I was feeling perfectly. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, Saturday that shoe did. I was in my apartment on Saturday afternoon when I heard yelling outside. I walk out to see my boyfriend screaming with our neighbor's ex, who was dropping his kid off, about someone flipping someone off. I managed to get my boyfriend away from that person and into our apartment, which was really my mistake. His anger turned to me, screaming at me to never get involved. I locked myself in the bedroom while he kicked and screamed outside and then calmly asked to go in and get his phone so he could leave. I opened the door and ran to the bathroom and locked that door. He left after some name-calling. I got my cat and a few random things in my car and left. Since I've been at my parents' and he and his mom have been blowing my phone up with all over the place comments. And now my dad and I are going back to get my necessities. Literally on the drive now. We are going to the police first to have them bring an escort in case he is there. I'm terrified, not that he will hurt me, but that it'll break me emotionally even further when I feel I'm just so broken. If you made it this far, thanks for taking the time to read. If you guys have any advice, words of wisdom, please share. I know people deal with much worse incidences of domestic abuse, and my heart goes out to them because I can't imagine it feeling much worse right now. If you are one of those people, I hope you are in a better place now and are able to heal. Heart. Edit, update. You guys are a great bunch. Thank you for all your kind words, support and insights. We got more of my stuff out without seeing him. I listened to the cop's advice to tell him one final time it's over and blocked him, his mom, and now his brother who has been texting me now as well. Thank you all for letting me vent. Heart. As a veteran myself, there's no excuse. If he has PTSD or other issues. Once you offered to talk to him, spend time with him and that you two should get counseling or that he should. Then it's 100% on him. Once is a mistake. Twice is a habit. And him violently breaking shit, yelling at neighbors then you? It's only a matter of time until it escalates unless he gets help. Good job on you for taking people with you to protect you, police, and support you, Dad. You got this and do what he won't and get help. The only thing I would say is next time? Don't, I finally gave up. Hopefully there isn't a next time, but if it happens again? Stay strong and make sure it gets fixed or you get gone. Thankfully you're safe and hugs and best wishes. As much as I feel for him as being a combat vet is very hard. And the stigma of getting any sort of mental health is hard to deal with. He needs help and hopefully he gets it. Maybe this will be his wake-up call. I just found out that my girlfriend has been unfaithful. How do I deal with it? As the title says. I found out online when she'd hidden her stories from my main account and I added her on my other one last night. I was nice to her and confronted her. She came clean after spewing a bunch of lies that I rejected. Then she turned the table and said if I loved her, I wouldn't be still talking to her. I replied saying that she was young and didn't know better, and I wanted to tell her how much it'll destroy her inside out. Then bid goodbye and blocked her. I feel numb. IDK what to do? You dump her and move on. No one deserves that. Glad you blocked her. She'd do it again if she had the chance. You dump her ass immediately. That is the only option. Period. You killed it, bro. Just move on and let time heal your wounds. Call me hand. You dumped and blocked her. You did the right thing. Now you move on. She admitted she cheated on her IG stories? That's so embarrassing to you. I'm so sorry. How do I, 20F, tell my mom, 44F, that I am pregnant? So yesterday my period was supposed to start but it didn't. I noticed how my symptoms were quite strange compared to my regular period symptoms. There was some sort of cramping on one side of my lower abdomen compared to period cramps where my whole lower abdomen would start cramping, which indicated my period was gonna start that day or the next. My period never came yesterday, which my period is always on time. I keep a tracker, but it never came. I decided might as well eliminate the option of being pregnant and took a pregnancy test since I had several. First one came back positive and I was confused, but just to be sure I took another one with my more expensive pregnancy test and sure enough that came back positive too. I do know who the father is, so that's not much of a problem. My problem lies with telling my mom. I don't know what her reaction would be, nor do I know what I want to do. I live with my mom, 2 sisters and my grandparents, all in my grandparents' house. I just bought a car and today is my first day at my new job. I want to tell my mom I'm pregnant but don't know how, and if I choose to not keep it I wouldn't want the rest of my family to know. Too long did not read. Yesterday I found out I was pregnant. I want to tell my mom but don't know how to tell her or the best way to approach this situation. Why do you want to tell her right away? Maybe you should take some time to process it and make a decision for yourself, and then get a piece of advice from her when or if you're ready. I think the first thing to do is get seen by a doctor so you know that you are actually pregnant, what week, and discuss your options. While rate, there are instances of false positive results in home pregnancy tests. Then you can tell your mom when you have the facts. I'm sure she may be shocked, but she'll give you the support you need. That's what moms do. Wait until you've made a decision on if you're keeping it.